Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to Roots Refuge Farm. I just got out to the garden this morning. I had intentions of doing a different video today, but it looks on the radar like we might have some weather coming in and I didn't want to get interrupted. So I'm changing tact a little bit and I'm going to harvest all of the cherry tomatoes. Oh wow, look at that. That's darling. I was out of town this week and the cherry tomatoes are covered in fruit and I want to get them all in and load up the dehydrator. So that's typically what we do with excess cherry tomatoes, cut them in half and dehydrate them. I've got content about that. I'll put a link down below if you're wanting to know how, but it really is that simple. And if I have more than a dehydrator load, I may also go ahead and put some in the freeze dryer as well. So I have all of these plants to harvest. I've got a lot of fruit on them. Then I also have my green stalk with my micro dwarf tomato project going in here that are got a good deal of fruit as well. And as I was driving by, I was noticing that some of my second planting of tomatoes are starting to have ripe cherries, so we'll go down there next. We're going to do this first. As you can see, some of these plants are getting some crispy bits, which is pretty common here for when it's starting to get this hot. Tomatoes actually don't love temperatures that are over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, and we have been very consistently quite a bit over that every day. So they're fussy, they're fine, they're still producing fruit. All right, I'm gonna get to picking. These are so pretty. They're called Midnight Snack. Y'all, look at this sun gold plant. It's almost to the top of this arch trellis. It sort of went that way. Definitely having a hard time reaching some of these. So off this row, probably about 2.5 gallons. It's about half of this 5-gallon bucket. It's a lot of cherry tomatoes. So here's my second planting of cherry tomatoes. And these are just starting to turn all the way across here. I've got several varieties. The cherries only go down like halfway and then that's where slicers pick up. I'm really glad I didn't plant more because that would be a ton of fruit. And it's dinner time. Where are we going?
Going to the garden to pick some tomatoes.
Tomatoes. What do we need tomatoes for?
Our bacon sandwiches.
Bacon sandwiches. BTs, no L, no BLT. Because L doesn't grow in the garden during the summer, so we just keep it on the farm. Hey, sweet Maya.
Hey.
Oh, hey, look, we're twins.
I'm going back home.
In case y'all don't know this, if you've been here for very long, you do know this, but Jeremiah does not like matching. He does not like being Twinkies, so sometimes I just mess with him. I did not do this on purpose.
Mama, I'm gonna walk out in front of you so I can get some shade.
The longer we've been married, the more often it happens accidentally.
Mom, me and Ezzy are twins.
Yep. Ezzy, what you got there?
A rock that I found. It's like a square.
Ooh.
Mostly.
Nice one.
It's like it's a diamond.
Oh, very nice. Decided we would do bacon sandwiches tonight just for easy dinner. And I got all the bacon cooked on a sheet pan in the oven. Got it out, had everything out, the mayo, the bread. I was like, we don't have any tomatoes, which obviously we have tomatoes. We just didn't have any in the house because I've got 2 roaster ovens full of tomatoes simmering down to make sauce, and I put all the tomatoes I had in the house. Good thing it's garden season, right?
Yeah.
Looks like I've got a couple good juicy ones here just for this job. There we go.
That a good one?
Oh yeah.
Looks really good.
I'll grab that one.
But I bet you Ben without knowing will eat it. Do we need something that big tomatoes?
This one actually, yeah, looks like it's got a little blossom end rot, but probably the middle is good. There's probably a couple good slices on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a couple. All right, here, Angel.
These are gonna look good on my sandwich.
Are you actually gonna put those on your sandwich?
No.
No. I was about to say, boy, let's keep it real here.
I was ready for dinner before we.
So I've got a few eggplants here that I just grabbed. I'm actually not 100% sure on the varieties of these because I bought these plants started. My ones I started from seed this year did not do great. We went to a restaurant the other night. We took Jeremiah's sister Michaela out for her birthday to this really great restaurant in Columbia. The dish that I had eggplants where they had just cut them in half, and I don't know exactly what they did to them. They were amazing. I've been trying to like recreate it by cutting them in half and scoring the inside and then just searing them, turning them over and putting them in the oven. And I'll put like salt, pepper, maybe some herbs and garlic on it, a little bit of olive oil, and just cooking them until they're soft, and they're so good like that. I've never grown a lot of eggplants because I never really knew what to do with them. Besides, I'll do like eggplant parmesan a little bit, and then I have this one dish that I make. I'll try to find the older video of it and see and put it up for you guys, where it's eggplant, zucchini, tomato, and onions layered. It's delicious. Anything that I can cook simply and make it delicious, I am all about that. So this will just be for me. Jeremiah might eat a little bit, but the boys are gonna be fine with their sandwiches. Toby, I keep forgetting the side by side. I did it last night too. This is here because I drove it down here earlier today and then I walked back.
Why'd you walk back?
I forgot that this was here.
Oh, dang.
Oh, there's our little harvest. I like how happy you look, even though we both know you're not gonna eat any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, give me the bacon and the bread.
That's all I want.
And cheese. Are you gonna put cheese on your sandwich?
Sure.
Dad's all the way at the end of the driveway. I guess they're going to check the mail. Let's go get them. Wow, our willow tree is getting so big.
Yeah.
Do you want to go over there and show everybody how big it is?
Sure.
Look, Toby is going to demonstrate the hugeness of our willow. Wow, you can hang out underneath it. I can't see you at all. Awesome. We planted that willow the first time we came to this farm. Actually, this video is going to go up tomorrow. And tomorrow, so the day you see this, is the 2-year anniversary of us moving here. Did you know that? 2 years that we packed up, came, me and the boys pulled in. Jeremiah got here the next day. Very awesome. Now the tree we planted in April. So 2.5 years ago. Do you know tomorrow's the 2-year anniversary of us living here?
Yeah, you told me that. That's exciting. Feels like forever.
Feels like forever to you?
Feels like it's where I've always lived.
Yeah, it is home, huh?
Yeah. I do. I feel like
it probably really feels like forever to you.
You know what they say? Home is where the old matching couple lives.
Whatever.
We might as well be going, like, shouldn't we be like,
hey, I'm gonna buy
shouldn't we be making our reservations for our retirement to Florida here pretty soon?
Wait, what?
So we can get on Jazzy's and cruise down to McDonald's.
It's matching t-shirts. It's the same
And
color
pants. You
Oh, I
literally
didn't.
copied me. We should get Toby to snap
I
some
didn't
photos.
realize that I had black pants on too. It's not like a matching tracksuit. Even though we could totally do that. I think we could pull it off. You want to ride? You want to drive?
I really feel like I should walk because that would add some separation to our matching.
Oh my goodness. If you really want to walk 1,200 feet down a driveway to prove a point in the heat, it's 95 degrees. Be my guest. I actually mess with him that I think that we should unpack some childhood trauma because he has a brother who's 18 months older than him and his mom like to dress them matching. Yeah, so I just tell myself, this has nothing to do with me. This is not mine. I'm a delight to match with. What do you think? Y'all like matching with your spouse or no? Is that for you or not? Because I think it's cute.
I thought you were talking
But it doesn't actually bother me that he doesn't like it. I think it's funny. It doesn't actually deeply bother him, obviously, if it was actual trauma. We're joking. Somebody's going to take it seriously and be like, you should support your husband in his healing.
I thought you were talking to me. I was like, I don't have a spouse.
Oh my goodness, look.
Oh, yeah, there's eggs, right?
There's a couple eggs. There's one there and there's one. I don't know if she was laying or if she was sitting on it. It doesn't really look like a nest.
Are we gonna eat them?
Mm.
They're pretty big. They look like goose eggs.
Oh!
Those are frogs.
Those were frogs. All right, yeah, y'all can grab them.
Are we gonna eat them? What are we gonna incubator?
Yeah, let me see.
I think we should do this. Boom! It already had a hole in it.
It has a hole in it? Oh.
This one's not. Can I toss it?
Yeah, you can toss it. Something got at it.
Into the pond?
What would do that? That's weird. Yeah, those eggs were definitely rotten. As soon as they handed it to me, I could feel how light it was. Look at them floating.
Is that bad?
I mean, it's not great.
I bet a snake got into one.
Yeah, I don't know where they came from. They were just there all of a sudden.
Dang.
You know what I bet that was? There was a duck sitting on a nest right by here and she got up from it. I wonder if she didn't push those down by the pond. I don't know. That's weird. So I was driving by and I actually stopped and turned around because I wanted to show y'all this. Y'all want to see something? So here's my wild in-ground garden. I actually went live on Instagram last night. I've had a wild hair lately to just go live a couple of times and it's been really fun. I like just popping in there and chatting for a minute. I was out here, I didn't have my camera and the light was setting and I knew I only had like 5 or 6 minutes of the most beautiful light. So I just went live and shared this garden. But I also found this, which I'll say this on here. I said this on the Instagram live. I'm not going in there without the proper footwear because I'm not trying to get snake bit on camera, but I'm really not trying to get snake bit at all. Open that up carefully.
Wait, do you see
You know what this means? It's pea shelling season. I'm so excited.
Wait, did you say that you see a snake?
Just hang on to me. You can carry that in. Leave it in the skin. We'll carry it in. So these are just starting to dry out. I'd say a couple more days and they'll be ready to pick to shell. And then there's a whole bunch all through here. There's peas. We're going to have so many of these chicken and dumplings peas. Benjamin was just noticing this. Would you like to show them?
Yeah,
Here's one too.
They
What?
look like watermelons.
They're not though.
This one's the big one that's gonna
If you look closely at them, they don't look as much like watermelons. They're flatter. There's some. It's a type of pumpkin.
Oh, so it's a squash.
You're right. A pumpkin is a squash. You are correct.
That's how you like squash.
Hey,
What?
there's something you like that grows in the garden.
What?
You love pumpkin
I do.
in the form of pies and muffins and breads.
That is true.
So I'm pretty excited because my friend Daniel will be here with his U-Haul and his family on Saturday. He is moving here to South Carolina to be here with us and work for Beulah roasting coffee. And he's my pea shelling buddy, so I told him the peas were getting ready just in time for him to be here. I think I'll probably harvest my first big mess of peas. Of course, I'm waiting for them to be dry because I'm trying to save them for seed. You can eat them from being dry. You just have to soak them. Hey, can y'all carry in those tomatoes and eggplants? Hey, Ben, come help. All right, I decided to wait to try to explain peas because I was driving. I was driving, but also driving into the sun. So these are cow peas that I grow. This is called chicken and dumplings. It's a variety. It is a local heirloom here in the Midlands of South Carolina, as far as I know. It's not available anywhere online. At one point, it was available through, I think, Southern Exposure Seed Company kept it, or Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. But the man who grew them out for Southern Exposure, Dr. Kibler, is who I got these seeds from. Through Will. Will knows him. And we grew a lot last year. We ended up with about 2 gallons of dried peas for seeds after we ate a bit of them. And then this year we grew a whole lot. And so we are hoping to be able to make these available to you guys in the future at some point. That takes a little while. But they're cow peas, so kind of like black-eyed peas if you're familiar with that. This is a southern thing, so if you live somewhere other than the South, maybe if you're not eating them. But it's a tradition here, black-eyed peas on New Year's Day. It's a very big part of our diet, really, like purple whole peas, if you've ever heard of those, zipper peas, cow peas. And the chicken and dumplings is just a variety of that. So these actually aren't fully dry yet. We pulled them off, but you can harvest them at this stage when they still have a lot of moisture in them. And to cook them at this state, they cook a lot faster, like any beans. So like think opening a can of beans and they have moisture in them because they were canned with liquid. So a fresh bean is like that. So if you grow a bean that you are actually harvesting the seeds, the beans, out of the pod. When they still have moisture, I mean, put some bacon in a pan and saute it, some onions. You can just leave some of the fat in there, saute the onions in that, saute some garlic, and then put the beans in and cover them with some broth or liquid and simmer them. And if they still have moisture in them like this, they'll be soft enough to eat. I mean, it doesn't take very long, maybe an hour. Now, if you dry them, it's just you leave them on the plant to dry. So the shell gets really dry, and eventually what happens is the beans get really dry too. These weren't, but then you shell them and they're hard. And you just have to make sure that they're fully dry. And this is the same like if you were growing pinto beans or kidney beans or black-eyed peas, purple peas, chicken and dumplings, cow peas. You're going to wait till they're fully dry, and then I like to lay them out on like a baking sheet to make sure there's no moisture in them before I put them away, just because if there is moisture in them, when you put them in a jar and seal it, they're going to mold. So that's what you would do if you were trying to save these for seeds. If your green beans got too big and they're no good for eating for the pods anymore, because green beans, we're just eating those really young before the seeds develop. But if they got real big and they're not great for eating as green beans anymore, a lot of green beans you can actually save the dried beans and eat them as you would any dried bean, or at the very least you can save them for next year's seed. Beans are not super ready cross-pollinators, so in most cases beans will breed true. You don't have to do any like special measures to save them. Sometimes they'll cross-pollinate if they're planted right by another kind of bean, but even still you can still save the seeds. If you're trying to cook like dried cowpeas or dried beans from being dry, you just have to reconstitute them, so you soak them. Typically what you're going to do with that is just cover them in water and then soak them overnight, and then the next day you drain the water off, and then you cook them as I mentioned. Like a ham hock is really good in beans, or some sort of meat. You don't have to. You can just, if you're doing them vegetarian, saute some aromatics, cover them in veggie broth, or you could just do water. You should get more flavor if you use a broth. I use chicken broth or beef broth because we're not vegetarian. And then you're going to slow cook them. Once they've been dried, if they've been soaked, they don't take nearly as long to cook, but until they're soft. I like to cook them until they're soft, and some of them are falling apart a little bit, so you get kind of a nice gravy. And then make some cornbread, and you'll be like a real southerner eating your cowpeas with cornbread. Especially if you put like a ham hock in it. Oh, really? Just the taste of the South right there. Well, I'm going to go in and make bacon sandwiches for my boys. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight, harvesting tomatoes all around. Bless you guys. Until next time.